I just brought the company a $1.7 billion contract. They sent me back a termination email. No thank you. No official reason. Just one sentence, extremely professional. Your image is no longer aligned with our global brand direction. It's easy to understand. How could a fat woman wearing a size 18 dress represent a globally oriented company, right? 2:47 a.m. I'm on a flight from Frankfurt to New York. Everyone around me is asleep. The business class cabin is bathed in soft amber light. I'm awake as usual. In front of me is my laptop with a $1.7 billion contract I just signed. A deal I've been pursuing for 10 months, crossing 3 time zones and 7 cities, working almost entirely on my own. I'm not expecting fireworks. I'm not waiting for anyone to congratulate me. I just want to go home and sleep properly after nearly a year of living on airplanes. And then, ting. An email arrived. I opened it thinking it was a system confirmation, maybe an internal announcement or a meeting schedule change. But no. The subject line read, "Termination Notice, effective immediately sent by Logan Price, CEO." The content was brief, concise, and emotionless. No meeting. No warning. They waited until I finished everything, then quietly pulled the plug. The Wi-Fi on the plane still worked, but my company account had been locked. Slack out. Drive out. My schedule contacts and system access gone as if they had never existed. The only thing left was a sentence, "Your image is no longer aligned with our global brand direction." Actually, it didn't start with that termination email. It started with the little things just loud enough to hear, just quiet enough to avoid accountability. The first time I realized I was different was during the first quarterly review meeting at Tech. I walked into the meeting room breathing heavily from running up from the floor below, slides ready. A guy in the room, I still remember his name was Chris, from operations, turned to his colleague and said with a half-joking tone, "Is there a meeting in the cafeteria today?" The room fell silent for half a second. Then everyone laughed. Very quietly, the kind of laugh that doesn't make a sound but is loud enough for me to hear my heart race. I ignored it, put my headphones back in, opened the slides. But the scar remained. Another time during a partner meeting in Austin, the communications assistant turned to me while we were taking a team photo and whispered, "Stand over there so you don't block the others." She smiled but avoided my gaze. I nodded, stepped to the side, smiled but felt cold inside. I never sit in the middle of the meeting room, never eat 2 pieces of cake at office parties, never wear bright colors. It's not because I don't like it. It's because I know I'm always being watched. Not because I stand out. It's because they want me to disappear. But you know what? There are times when you don't need a title, you just need to be recognized as a worthy human being. And I thought this time I will. After the Toronto deal, I saved a project that was losing nearly $30 million. In just 6 weeks, I renegotiated the contract, cut losses, and even opened 2 new markets. The CEO called me at midnight just to say, "You did the impossible." So when word came that Tech was hiring a new strategic vice president, everyone in the office thought, "It's Janelle, no one else." I didn't say anything, but I was prepared. The introduction slides the quarterly plan, even the proposal for improving the CRM system. I did it all, not to impress anyone, because I knew I had every reason to sit in that chair. And then, on that Monday, the name announced was Vanessa Gray, MBA graduate less than 2 years ago, 8 months at the company, never traveled alone, never handled a deal over $5 million. But she looked the part. Straight hair, fitted dress, soft-spoken, and a brand-perfect smile. I didn't ask. I didn't react. Until I accidentally walked past the executive meeting room, the sliding door hadn't closed all the way. Logan was talking to a board member, Janelle, huh? She's really good. Too good, actually. But it's tricky. She walks into the room and the atmosphere gets heavy. With senior partners, we need a more relaxed, flexible image. Don't forget, the brand has to live on LinkedIn and in the media, too. I stood frozen. It took me 2 weeks to put together the pitch for the Trevera project, a 3-way cross-border deal worth over $500 million. Every chart, every revenue model I built by hand. The first slide had a faint gray line at the bottom, drafted by J. Carter Strategy Office. That was it. Modest, but there. 3 days later, I opened the file to update the pricing based on the new exchange rate. Strange. The slide was still there. The data was still correct. But my name was gone. In the author section, it said Vanessa Gray. I furrowed my brow. Maybe she accidentally saved over it. I sent her a message. She seen it but didn't respond. I scrolled down to the bottom of the deck. There were 4 new slides, completely meaningless, an inspirational quote from Elon Musk, a colorful chart unrelated to anything, and a page that read, "Prepared by Vanessa Gray, Strategic Lead." I laughed. A chill ran down my spine. 3 days later, the company sent out an internal memo. Congratulations to Vanessa Gray, who successfully led the Trivera strategy preparation process. Vanessa will represent the company at the upcoming Fall Investor Conference in Boston. Me, no name, no mention. I walked straight into Logan's office, handed him the printed original with the metadata showing the file creation date and time. He glanced at it, then leaned back in his chair. I understand how you feel, Janelle, but it doesn't really matter who gets the credit, does it? You're a team player, right? I clenched my fists so tightly my knuckles turned white. It matters, because the person standing on stage getting the applause isn't the one who did the work. She gets the opportunity, and I get what? He laughed, lightly as if I were overreacting. Janelle, don't let your emotions get the best of you. The brand needs a face that can be put on brochures. You understand. I stood up. I didn't yell. I didn't write a rebuttal email. I didn't slam my desk. I didn't cry. I was silent, because people like them aren't afraid of anger. They're only afraid of what they can't see. That same week, I bought a small failing strategy consulting firm in Brooklyn and renamed it Revyn Technologies. No one at Centratech knew. They didn't need to. I ran it like a discreet coffee shop, no signs, no PR, no frills. But inside was a strategy room they would never suspect. I called Clarice, the former head of legal who had been forced out for cultural incompatibility. I called Malik, the DevOps expert fatballed, the most talented guy in the company but never seen on camera. I called April, a senior HR person who had been replaced simply because her face didn't fit the brand. I didn't need to interview them. I asked them just one question. Want to start over. No one will judge you based on your appearance. We're looking at your brains. Everyone agreed. For the next 3 months, I continued working at Centratech as if nothing had happened. I nodded in meetings, drank coffee with Vanessa, and laughed when Logan made small talk. But at night, I rewrote the strategy. The first line of code for the Revyn system was pushed to the server by Malik on a Thursday night at 3 a.m. I remember he only sent 3 words. Let's build quietly. Yeah. Let them laugh. Let them post my picture on the sidelines. Let them show off their young, slim, modern brand. Because I don't need to be in that picture anymore. I'm drawing a new frame. And this time, I'm at the center. Boston. Langham Hotel. Fall Investment Conference. Centratech booked the largest room, rented an LED backdrop, and hired a private film crew. This was the stage they planned to use to shape their global image. The face of the company, Vanessa Gray, Vice President of Youthful and Creative Strategy. I came uninvited. No name on the guest list, no logo on the banner, but I came with something they couldn't cross off any list, my name in the minds of their customers. When I walked in, the atmosphere in the room changed. I didn't say a word, just walked straight to the investor area where representatives from the 3 largest telecommunications companies were present. They saw me. They were taken aback for a second. Then they smiled. Janelle Carter. We thought you left Centratech. I thought so too, I replied, until I saw my old company presenting my proposal and not understanding it. A minute later, I was invited into a private meeting room. Logan walked in 10 minutes late. His face was pale as if he had just swallowed a rock. Janelle. Logan. His voice tried to stay calm, but he couldn't hide the glance he took at my body, as if waiting for me to change before I was worthy of reappearing. I was still the same. My body was still big. But now I sat up straight, leaning back in my chair as if it were my own throne. Vanessa followed behind her eyes, avoiding mine. She whispered, You're here in what capacity?" I smiled, slowly placing the new proposal on the table. "CEO, Revyn Technologies." Her face hardened. Logan sits down and taps his fingers on the table. "Can we talk to our partner privately?" "Janelle." "This? There's no need to be so competitive." I look him straight in the eye. "Competitive. I'm not being competitive. I just won't let the company that threw me out the door sell what I built with my own sweat and tears." No one said anything, until the Japanese representative put his pen down on the table. "Centratech doesn't understand the system as well as she does. If you agree to sign with us, Janelle, the deal will go through." Logan frowned. "You're switching partners just because." "Not just because," I interrupted. "It's because I'm the one who understands it, and I've never judged anyone by their weight." Vanessa stood up. She didn't look at anyone. She walked out. Logan hung his head. I looked at him. No resentment, no triumph. I had only one thing to say. "You told me I didn't fit the brand image. Well, today I'm here to break the mold." 3 days after the Boston conference, a brief press release was sent to all industry newspapers. Revyn Technologies has officially signed a strategic contract worth $1.7 billion with 3 international telecommunications corporations. Representative Janelle Carter, CEO and founder. No fancy background. No slow-motion footage of the signing. Just one photo me, sitting in the middle of the meeting room, hands on the contract, eyes looking straight into the camera. No bowing, no need for anyone to recognize me. I had become the center of attention. The following week, Centratech was in chaos. The board of directors began investigating the reason for losing the biggest deal of the year. Investors withdrew their capital. The stock price dropped 14% in 3 days. Then the press started asking, why was Janelle Carter fired? Why did the company abandon the person who built its international strategy? Is Revyn a counterattack by the underestimated minds? And me? I said nothing. I let the results speak for themselves. One Monday afternoon, I received an email. It was from Logan. It contained only 3 sentences. "I'm sorry. I misjudged you. If I have the chance, I'd like to talk to you again." I didn't reply. But I sent him back one photo, a picture of my latest speech at a tech leadership forum where I stood on the podium, unedited, unfiltered. My large figure, my confident smile, and behind me, hundreds of people standing up and applauding. In the end, honor is not something that others give me. It is something I took back with my own hands, the same hands that were once pushed aside. And those who laughed at me, they are gone. Vanessa quietly left Centratech. Her LinkedIn account was changed to seeking new opportunities. Logan resigned a month later, citing media pressure as the reason. And me, I stood in front of the Revyn office looking up at the nameplate that had been hung the day before Janelle Carter, founder and CEO. No one can say I don't fit the brand anymore, because this time I am the brand. Some stories don't need revenge with a knife. They just need to stand up at the right moment and enter the room without asking permission. Janelle didn't lose weight. She didn't get a makeover. She did one thing: stay true to herself and rebuild an empire around the very body that was once mocked. If you've ever been undervalued just because you didn't fit the brand standard, if you've ever stood in the wings watching others receive praise for your hard work, if you've ever been forced into a mold that wasn't meant for you, remember, you don't have to change to fit the mold. You have the right to break it. If this story resonates with you, please like, subscribe, and comment below. I don't fit the mold, but I'm still me. Or tell us about a time you were looked down upon or rejected because of your image and how you overcame it. And if you want to hear more stories about people who were once looked down upon but never backed down, watch the next video.